Giardiniera originates from Italy, but due to migration it has spread to other countries. It's popular in Chicago. In its original form, Giardiniera is a vinegar-pickled mix of vegetables. An oil variety is also common. However, I'm going to give it a twist and use lactic fermentation. The recipe is available on the blog. The ingredients list is rather long, though some vegetables can be swapped or removed completely. I will be using cauliflower, carrots, peppers, both sweet and spicy, celery, green beans, onions, leek and garlic. The herbs and spices include oregano, mustard seeds, black peppercorns, coriander seeds and bay leaves. I begin by preparing the cauliflower. I only need about half a head, so I cut off several large florets. Then I proceed to divide them into smaller bits. I peel a few carrots. I line them up and slice them. I go for thick slices. Next on the list are bell peppers. I core and seed them. Then I cut them up into nice medium-sized chunks. I also use a few spicy peppers. Normally these would be a couple chilies, maybe some jalapenos, but this time I happen to have harvested a handful of Peruvian ají limón peppers, also known as lemon drop chilies, so I go with them. I remove the stems and slice the peppers thinly. I leave the seeds in for the extra spiciness they provide. The heat in spicy peppers comes from capsaicinoids, mostly capsaicin and dihydrocapsaicin. The lemon drop variety, although nowhere near the top of the list of spiciest peppers, contains a decent amount of capsaicinoids, a few times more than a jalapeno. Celery sticks are next in the queue. I simply slice them, pretty much the same way I did the carrots. I remove the stems from green bean pods. Next, I cut them in half. Shorter pieces are more manageable than whole pods. I peel a few cloves of garlic. Since I don't add much compared to the volume of the remaining ingredients, I slice the garlic relatively thinly. I peel and dice a few onions. Working with onions always makes my eyes water. This is due to sulfuric acid forming on the eyeballs. The onions have a defense mechanism against pests. When its cells are damaged, they release sulfenic acid and an enzyme, alliinase, that converts the acid into an irritant, syn-propanethyl S-oxide. It is volatile and quickly rises up, eventually touching the eyeballs. There, in contact with water, it turns into sulfuric acid, a potent lacrimatory agent. The eyes produce tears to flush the acid out. I cut a sizable piece of leek. Then I cut it lengthwise. Finally, I slice both halves, again similarly to the carrots. Now it's time to mix the vegetables. The bowl is pretty full, so I choose to toss the contents until they're evenly distributed. I use the largest jar I have at my disposal. I start by adding herbs and spices. Their job is not just to boost the aroma and flavor, but also to provide a bit of tannins. They will make the vegetables lose the crunch at a slightly slower rate. Coriander seeds go in, then black peppercorns, mustard seeds, bay leaves, and oregano. I proceed to place the vegetables in the jar. When it's half full, I add the herbs and spices again. Then I continue filling it with the remaining vegetables. More herbs and spices go near the top of the jar. Finally, one last layer of vegetables. I need to press them down a bit in order to squeeze them all in. I prepare a bowl of warm water that will serve as a base for my salt brine. I could have calculated the exact amount of brine needed by filling the jar, draining it and weighing the water, but this time I just eyeballed the amount. I add salt to produce a brine with 2.5% salinity. I stir until the salt has dissolved completely. Then I pour it into the jar. On top, I add a fermentation weight. It's a bit small, but I don't have a larger one that will fit into this somewhat overfilled jar. Some vegetable pieces float to the top, and I do my best to remove them. Finally, I screw on the lid, but not too tightly. Fermentation isn't very vigorous in case of Giardiniera, but some carbon dioxide will still be released. Now I leave the jar to the microbes. It will be around 2 weeks until fermentation is complete, but I like my Giardiniera half sour. I think it's good to eat after 2 days. During the fermentation, lactic acid bacteria such as Leuconostoc mesenteroides, Lactobacillus brevis and Lactoplantibacillus plantarum consume the carbohydrates present in the vegetables. They excrete carbon dioxide and lactic acid, which acts as a preservative and a flavoring agent. It also reacts with chlorophyll contained in the green vegetables, converting it into pheophytin and making the veg change color to an olive green. I open the jar after 2 days. There are visible carbon dioxide bubbles. use a small slotted spoon to get the veg out. The aroma is very pleasant. Lactic acid is perceivable, as well as some of the more fragrant vegetables, but the oregano is clearly coming through too, giving the giardiniera a unique character. The flavour is excellent. Rich, mostly sour, but still with some residual sweetness, and of course a bit of a fiery kick from the chilies. There's a variety of textures too. The cauliflower and the celery are very crunchy, the carrots and the green beans less so, and the peppers are nice and soft already. Delicious. I will place it in the fridge where it can stay safely for many weeks. I'll eat it as a standalone snack, as a side dish or as a salad ingredient. When chopped up, the giardiniera will serve as a lovely relish for my sandwiches and burgers.